The Yoruba race is an ancient one, and the people trace their history as far back as to the creation of the earth. This video brings you proof of this belief. Ẹnlẹ́, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí gbàgede Tana dùn. Orúkọ mi ni Tana, èmi sì lolùkọ́ yín lórí gbàgede yìí. Ibi ni a ti ń kọ́ èdè Yorùbá tí a sì ti ń kọ́ nípa ẹ̀yà Yorùbá lápapọ̀. In this video, we'll be touching on Yoruba history. It is important for every person to know their history. That is, where did you originate from? And the Yoruba tribe or the Yoruba race takes their history very seriously. It is important to them because this video will enlighten us on the origin of the Yoruba people. In history class, we were taught that there's always a second side to every historical account. The reason for this is simple. Back in the days, there was no form of writing or recording of events. Therefore, people relied on oral passage of historical accounts. For this reason, it is inevitable for some details to get lost along the way. It is why we say that that is, when someone brings you news from far away, it would either have some additions or some subtractions. You must be familiar with this exercise people take, whereby the teacher or the facilitator says something into the ear of one of the students and asks that student to pass it on to the next student, and then on to the next student, and on like that. By the time the information reaches the last student, you will notice that that information the teacher originally passed has been watered down. Either the context has been changed or something has been added or removed from the information. It is the same with oral history. So because people do not record these things down, it tends to get watered down, or there might be some additions. And this is why whenever you read historical accounts, you tend to find one or more different accounts. Like I said, we're focusing on the Yoruba history in this video. And who are the Yoruba people? The Yoruba race is a population of about 50 million speakers spread across Nigeria, Togo, Republic of Benin, Ghana, Cameroon, and Brazil. In Nigeria, the Yorubas are found mainly in the southwestern region, comprising of Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ondo, Ekiti, and Lagos State. You can also find them in the north, namely Kwara State and part of Kogi State. History can be categorized into two. That is the myth, Itan, and the legend, Itan. For the history of the Yoruba people, I'll be providing two accounts: the creation myth and the migration legend. The creation myth sort of proves the existence of the Yoruba race from the beginning of the world. The myth goes thus. In the beginning, powerful deities and heavenly bodies made their way to the earth, but on getting here, it was formless and uninhabitable. Therefore, they went back to heaven and reported to Olodumare, that is God. Olodumare, upon hearing this report, gave Orunmila a commission to go and fix up the earth to make it inhabitable. Orunmila received a supply of Ewon, Erukpe, Adiye, Owoeyo, Akisa, and Oga. Orunmila has been commissioned to go and fix up the earth and make it inhabitable. And from here, there's a split because there are different accounts again in this account. One account says that Orunmila first threw the Akisa on the face of the earth, and next he also threw the sand. He poured the sand on top of it. Then he sent the Adiye to go and spread the sand across the face of the waters. After the adìẹ was done, he sent the Oga to go and walk on this ground that the adìẹ has filled with sand. After 2 trips, Oga came back and said the earth was solid. Then Orunmila threw down the chain and in turn commissioned Oduduwa to go and populate the earth. Another account puts it this way. After Orunmila was commissioned by Olodumare, Orunmila gave Obatala the task of going ahead to carry out this project. So, see Orunmila as the project manager, who now has a list of contractors working for him. So in this case, he sends Obatala to go ahead and do this job of getting the earth ready and populating it. However, unfortunately for Obatala, he got carried away along the way when he saw a group of people drinking palm wine. He sat down, drank palm wine and slept off. Meanwhile, Oduduwa was watching and he saw an opportunity. He took it and went ahead to carry out this project. This account is similar to the first, except that in this case, Oduduwa was the one who threw down the akisa, poured the sand and sent the adìẹ and subsequently the Oga. And then, as in the first, he came down to the earth on the chain. As you can see, both accounts let us know that Oduduwa came down to the earth from heaven on a chain. And this is why there's a saying which goes, Oduduwa Atenworo. That is the person who descended on a chain. There you have the creation myth. Now, as if to further prove this creation myth, there is a place in Ilé-Ifẹ called Edena, which is believed to have been the same Garden of Eden contained in the biblical account. Also, a source says that the Oni of Ife has confirmed that the Noah's Ark is right there in Ife.
Garden of Eden.
In addition, Ife is a word that was coined from the process of the adìẹ spreading the sand upon the face of the waters. That is Ife, to expand. Adìẹ fẹ erùpẹ̀. So it is why Ilé-Ifẹ is believed to be home of expansion. Ilé-Ifẹ. And that brings us to the end of the creation myth. Now let's move on to the migration legend. The migration legend seems to be more acceptable by many people because it sounds more realistic. Like, we do know it is still a topic of debate as to when the first man was formed or how and where. Anyway, this migration legend gives account of how Lamurudu, the father of Oduduwa, migrated from Upper Egypt down to where is now the current day Ife in Osun State, Nigeria. The migration legend states that Lamurudu, the father of Oduduwa, lived in Upper Egypt. After a war broke out, he moved his family down to the present day Ilé-Ifẹ. Eventually, Oduduwa became the first king of Ilé-Ifẹ. After many years, Oduduwa became old and he thought to put his children in charge. So he gave each one of them a crown and a staff of office and asked them to go and populate other places on the earth. The children all went scattered abroad and found different towns. The list will be on the screen. Onipopo of Popo, Onisabe of Sabe, Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́, Alákétu of Kétu, Olówu of Òwu, Ọ̀ràngún of Ìlá, Ọba of Benin. Regardless of which historical account you choose to believe, one thing is certain. The Yorubas believe that Oduduwa is the father of the Yoruba people, and Ilé-Ifẹ is the cradle of the Yoruba people. Share with me in the comment section below which of the historical accounts you think appeals more to the senses. Matumarin in Ó dàbọ̀.